Good morning, children. I hope you're all fine. Please complete the work, whatever it is given. Today, we have to discuss a new part, and that is related to one lab activity. That is very much important question for your board examination also. So here we have to discuss one lab activity that is related to rectangular glass slab. Already we have done semicircular glass disc activity. There also we have found refractive index. So in this also we can find refractive index as well as lateral shift. So what is the aim of this lab activity which is related to rectangular glass slab, that is to find the position and nature of the image formed by a glass slab. So in this, the materials required are wooden plank. Simply we can go with a plank, a paper. Here I have taken a A4 paper, or you whatever is available like a chart, white chart also you can take. And clamps, where to clamp this paper on the wooden board, and a scale, pencil, thin rectangular glass slab, and some pins. So whatever you are seeing here, just take a white paper, clamp on the uh, wooden plank. So after doing so, you take a rectangular glass slab and make a boundary of the glass slab, what is shown in the slide. So, and name the vertices as A, B, C, D. Now, at one right corner, I have given I, R, and E. What is I there? I is nothing but angle of incidence, R is refraction, and E is angle of emergence. After completing the boundary and the vertices on the length AB, draw a perpendicular. Now, what you have to do is, through that this perpendicular is nothing but the normal, so take that as normal, make angle I30, that is your incident ray. So we know what is angle of incidence. An angle between the normal and the incident ray is angle of incidence. So using a protractor, make 30 degrees. So what I have shown here. Now coming to this slide, just place your rectangular glass slab, and this is your normal, and this is your incident ray, and that is making an angle 30 degrees with the normal. So in this way you have to continue. So here you have to place two pins on the incident ray. So what you are observing in this slide. Now coming to this slide, you have to see at one angle where you're seeing the heads one side and the steel part you're seeing the other side. So this is here. Actually the position of the pins are here, and these are the pin steel part. This is head and this is the tail. So this in this image it is shifted to left side. You are finding that only. These pins are on the right side, and the pins through the glass slab you are seeing left side. Okay, I hope you have seen this. At particular angle you can see this position of the pins through the glass slab. So until now you have observed different positions of a glass slab and those pins. And in one slide I have shown you the steel part of the pins are left side, whereas the green part is right side. So seeing those steel part through the glass slab, okay, and you have to consider that they are lying in a straight line. Through that glass slab, you have to poke two more pins in such a way that this you imagine this is your third pin and this is your fourth pin. These 3 and 4 pins and 1 and 2 pins lies in a same straight line. How you'll find is while you're standing in the assembly, you are making a line. That means only first person should be visible. Behind them, because of their height, their heads will be visible. Okay. Similarly, when you watch from this here, this pin, you cannot see. You should not see the other pins like a third pin or a second pin or a first pin. Only fourth pin should be visible to you. In such a way, you have to poke the third and fourth pins. See now the picture what I have taken here. Only the fourth pin is visible. Behind this fourth pin, no pins are visible. But the heads, the green part is above the glass slab. That is already we have seen in one of the positions that uh, green part is one side and the steel pins are one side. So in this way, you have to poke the pins. I hope you have understood the positions. So from the top, you can see in such a way. Okay. So here, remove the glass slab, remove the pins. Here, I have first for the poking points, I have made a circles here where the pin poking points, I made a circle. After making a circle, you have to use a scale and draw a straight line along CD. Okay, that meets at one place. From there, you have to draw a normal. O- Okay, I hope you have understood up to here. And now you have to measure if this is the normal and this is your, we call it as an emergent ray here, because from here to here refraction takes place. From here to here, if a ray comes out, we call it as an emergent ray. Now measure the angle between the normal and the emergent ray. So if you see, this is 30 degrees. So I have taken I as 30. You got E also is 30. That means you have to remember this case that angle of incidence and angle of emergence both will be equal. So what I have taken I 30, E also 30. Then only your practical values are correct. Now take a scale and this is a line of incident ray. So keep the scale to this end. And if you have to draw, this is I hope you can see this is your emergent ray. So you have to draw a parallel to the emergent ray. And this is a line you have to draw here like this. This line which is drawn will be parallel to your emergent ray. Okay. So in the slide you have seen a line parallel to the emergent ray is drawn, and I have taken a broken line because it is not the original line. That is why when you are drawing a line parallel to the emergent ray, always it should be a broken line. So in this line parallel to the emergent ray, I already have drawn, and the distance between this line parallel to emergent ray and the emergent ray, that is called lateral shift. That is equal to 1 centimeter. Okay. In the same way I have done for I is equal to 40. Here also I got R, angle of emergence, and here also I have got lateral shift also. In this, if you see the same thing, but here I is equal to 50, I have taken, E is equal to 50 I got. So here you have to remember, this is again a line parallel to your emergent ray. Here one more point you have to remember, this will be your R and this is I and this will be E. So for I 30, 40, 50, I have done the activity and I have found the lateral shift for every angle of incidence I. And similarly, R will be varying. You have to remember in such a way that I is air there, and here the glass medium. So whenever a light enters from air to glass, that means rarer to denser, uh, the refracted ray shift towards the normal. That means in this case, you have to find R should be less than I in all the three cases. But one more thing you have to remember here, the angle of emergence always for I 30, 40, 50, it will be equal. So all the procedure what I have explained while seeing the slides, so you have listened. Now after calculating everything, angle I, angle R, angle E, angle I is angle of incidence, angle R is angle of refraction, angle E is angle of emergence. For that sin I have to calculate, sin R I have to calculate. For the refractive index, you know what is refractive, N is equal to sin I by sin R. And here one more point you have to remember to find the lateral shift also. So for each values I got, and one more each values for I, R, E I have calculated and tabulated in this way. So whenever you have done the activity, generally when you do write the answer, you don't write any values there, only the model table you have to draw for the answer. And one more point you have to remember, I told, as a ray is going from air to glass, means rarer to denser, we have to see that R should be decreased. So in this case, for 30, I 30, I got R 20, I 40, I got 25 R, I 50, I got R as 30. So in this way, I got the values over there. And angle of emergence and angle of incidence should be equal. I got there. And one more lateral shift 1, because we have to remember the thickness of a glass slab is directly related to lateral shift. So thickness of a glass slab what I have taken is 1 centimeter, that is equal to 1. So lateral shift also we have got 1 only. In this you have to know what is the lateral shift definition. So what you have seen, I have extended the incident ray which is parallel to the emergent ray you have seen, and what I have explained in the later part. And one more point we have seen that incident ray extended and the emergent ray, they both are parallel to each other. So that distance which is there between these two parallel rays is called the lateral shift. In today's class, we have learned to find the refractive index of a glass slab. Not only that, to find the lateral shift also. So I have tabulated I and R. From that, I have taken three I's. So after that, on the whole, average of N, sin I by sin R is equal to N. So I got average of those values as 1.50. That means whatever I have taken, the glass slab is made up of a crown material similar to your semicircular glass disc. So in this way, we have to find the refractive index of a glass slab.